It's madness to drive across an empty country looking for heaven knows what.
Watch out! Are you in any pain?
Not until you came along. So what are you doing in Australia?
My husband, he died. I need to find out what he was hiding.
I think I'll tag along and just make sure you don't get into any more scrapes.
Killer's gonna get away with murder.
Just don't know when to back off, do you?
Watch out! We make a good team.
Look what I got you. A Lamington.
What?
You'll love it. It's a little cake. Very Australian.
So we're talking about your new TV show, Darby and Joan.
Darby and Joan, yeah, with Greta Skarkey.
Exactly. So how are you? So tell me a little bit about it. Tell me about your character in that.
Well, okay, so Darby and Joan is a story of two characters that are travelling. One of them is travelling, which is Joan, is travelling to Australia, through Australia, because her husband's died in Australia when he was supposed to be in Spain. So she's travelling to find out answers. And my character, Jack, is a bloke he's a cop, but he's had problems with the police force. We don't know what they were, and he's had problems with the marriages, and we learn more about that. And he just doesn't want to know the world anymore. And he's just going off with his dog and his fishing rod. And what happens is they crash, and they have to share a camper van. And so you got these odd couple come. But the thing about them and they're carrying a bit of the thing about them is that they actually, you realise, they're each other's rescue dog. They need someone. Each of them needs someone because they're going through stuff. Yeah. And they're of a certain age, very similar to my own, actually. And, you know, when
21.
21. When everyone thinks it's okay at 21, when everyone thinks you're okay, your kids are off your hands, everything. No, life's still there you're dealing with. And that's what these two people are doing.
So I watched a couple of episodes to kind of check it out, and it's a nice, so from an objective kind of point of view, it's a nice, easy, scenically written. So it's like, it's beautiful. It shows off everything. It's sunny. It's kind of nice and everything. But like you said, at the heart of it, there's this beautiful thing. And so I was watching it at the start, and they crash into each other, and you think like they have this ridiculous kind of argument, and you think like, oh my gosh, like this is absolutely insane. Like, what are these? Like, this is, yeah. But then you start to realize, you see these patterns that her character has gotten into, and how Jack at first, like, it's easier for Jack to be the way that he is. It's easier for him to have that perspective. He knows what he likes, and he just finds that nobody accepts him in that sense. Nobody wants to discover new things. And it's the same for kind of her character as well, where she's kind of set in her ways with this past, and she discovers Jack as someone who, this immovable object that isn't going to change how he is or force her to change either, but just kind of open up to new possibilities. And I think, yeah, even as you get a little bit older, even like, you know, even 22, like I am now, even as you get a little bit older, like you start to realize that, you know, you lose the opportunity, the being open for the possibility of new experiences. And I think at the heart of it for those two characters, it feels like two people who have forgotten what it's like to embrace something new or someone new or a new perspective. And they both bring it out of each other. And it's beautiful in that sense. It's nice. That's
very good you're saying that. Like, you know, like I'm 75 now, right?
Yeah.
How I got there.
Looking good, bud. Like hell. Yeah.
How I got there, I've got no idea, because
25 and dreams.
25 is really like yesterday. You know, so how do you get to there? How do you get to 50? If you're 20, I remember when I had my first job at 17, and someone in the office was going to have a 21st birthday party, and you remember thinking, "Oh, the old bastard!"
Exactly.
You know. So how did I get to this age? And you go through bringing up children. You have marriage. You have sharing lots of different things. But you know, is it supposed to just stop? Is everything supposed to just stop?
Exactly.
One day it will, and that's called death. But until then, every day you're bumping into something. Every day you're being asked something to make a decision. Now, there might be little decisions, or they may be very big decisions. In this case, we've got two characters who got heightened decisions to make. You know, what happened to the death of my husband, and what happened to, you know, why do I hate the police force and what they've done to me?
Cool.
And they're people of this age. And those questions have to be answered to them. So they have to live. They're forced to keep living.
And I think that's the interesting thing. Like you said, it's, you know, it's at an age kind of thing. It's do you feel as well, like reflecting on that you forget what it's like when you're in your 20s and everything is new and fresh, and you have your choice of all these potential things that to define you and define your life and what it means to you, and that we settle into that. We feel that there isn't something beyond the walls that we create for ourselves. And I think, and what I found really interesting about this is the way that it's written and the way that it's performed. It is like it's a wonderful episodic thing, and I think it's digestible in that way, that it's entertaining, and it deals with heavy things in a light kind of way, but the heart of it, of what it shows you, reminds you to do, of seizing something new, or just seeing that it doesn't have to be as bad as you think it is. Seeing a new way of potential out there is really great for this.
You're a very perceptive man.
Well, I try to find the good in life. I try to find something.
It's interesting the way you talk on that.
Thank you.
And I'm very pleased that that's true on it. You
can look at it either way, but I choose to look at it like that. I choose to see more in it, and that's the thing. Yeah. I
mean, there's those shows that the English do, and they've sort of got the market on them, like Vera, Midsummer Murders, and all that. We haven't done anything like that. Neither of the Yanks, neither of you, and yet it's a massive demographic.
Yeah.
And I've only just realised in doing this, because I always think I'm 25 and I'm just doing a show and whatever.
Keep thinking it.
Doing
I do too, bud.
But as I've been going out to talk about it, and as I sort of watch it now, I realize that actually we're looking for that age. We're going, here's something you relate to, and I've only sort of just realized that, that I understand why Acorn has it, which has those shows, that does the Midsummers, the Veras in it, and they're all very popular shows.
Yeah, I think as well, and it's as a genre type, it's popular. Like it's popular for a nice, it's of that kind of middle age kind of demographic thing. But the themes that I find in it, and your performance. What I was going to say, the themes that I find in it are relatable across ages for anyone with the perspective of wanting to know what their potential is in life, or feeling like there's more and not knowing how to get it, and that it is actually. It's the things that, like, the added perspective. So like Jack's perspective in Matt was sorry, I forget the name. Kirk.
What?
What's her name?
Joan.
Joan. It's ridiculous. Getting lost in the conversation. Yeah. So Brian's perspective. Jack's perspective is so different. It's so different that it feels jarring and super challenging. But it's the difference of his perspective that allows her to make her own decisions in a different way. It's not following his life or her husband's or anything like that. It's choosing her own path. And I think, that's relatable for anyone of any age. And I think that's really great that it comes across in just a few episodes of that, enough to want to see where it goes with them.
Of course, the other thing is it's very beautiful to look at.
Oh,
and that's probably the difference with a Vera or Midsummer's Murder. The hinterland behind the Gold Coast at Queensland is incredibly beautiful. Yeah,
and that was from the very start.
Right from the start.
Right from the start. Like you said, with it raining and terrible, and I was like, this show is like, I think just there's a scene at kind of bit right at the start, scene it shot curving around the side, and I was like, it's just, it's exactly how I remember Australia in the best way. It captures that beauty, that gorgeousness,
and that's what we live off, because that totally. Is truth. That is a truth. We're coastal, in the main. Sure, the outback's something that we is a huge part of what Australia is, but we're coastal people, and our coasts are beautiful.
And it's how it kind of feels in you as well. You can't be. It's hard. It's difficult to be moody in the sunshine. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I was born in England, so I understand exactly why everyone's glum all the time, and it's great,
but it is true. The geography affects us.
Totally. Well, I mean, just slightly off topic. My favorite place to go in Australia is Caloundra, which is on it's on the Sunshine Coast, and it's a little simple little beach town, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's so nice. It's how, like, what do you need to be happy? What do you need to be happy in life, like, truly? And it's like, how
did you find Caloundra? Do you have family up there or something?
So my dad went and worked over there, and he's a dental surgeon, the greatest dental surgeon in the world. If you need some teeth, if you need anything looking at, but and so he went over there and wanted to a very simple man, simple like me, simple happiness, and beautiful.
Yeah,
but just gorgeous,
very beautiful.
Yeah, just gorgeous. But so in terms of this role as well, there's so big fan of cocktail. Like I said, I could quote, like, lived off cocktails and dreams for most of my life, but so massive. And
beer is for breakfast, Coghlan.
Of course, exactly. Always make the first one strong. Yeah, it's me and my friend Sammy quoted this. I was a bartender when I was 18, and it was I know. No. honestly, you know, in the worst way, in the best and worst way. It was absolutely good. But that was our like our Bible of that. And so we could
I got
quote it.
so many free drinks because of that movie.
No doubt. And you will forever as well.
Everywhere in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And me quoting it got a little slice of that vicariously through it as well. So no, it was good.
Very funny how things carry with you.
Absolutely.
And you know, we changed the nature of bartending with that whole thing, and made it very colourful and lively. A lot of blokes became barmen because of that.
You added perspective to it. You added something new. You said, like, it doesn't have to be like this. It can be more fun. We can add some raw, rough humanity to it. Let me tell you
very quickly something there.
Please do.
In the script, there was none of the throwing of the bottles. That wasn't written into the script. Tom went out one Friday night with a couple of friends and came in on the Monday and said, I've just seen the bloke doing all this behind a bar. He said, why don't we do it?
Yeah.
And so
he did it, being that guy. Yeah.
And Roger Donaldson, the director, said, yeah, you blokes want to do it? Let's go and start training for that. So we started training for it. Yeah. But it wasn't in the script. And that was all because of Tom's foresight and going, let's add color to this.
Yeah. That look of it, that feel of creative aesthetic, seeing something, putting it together and going, yeah, I can see how this would add that energy. It's amazing. But even on that, even on your character in Cocktail as well, like there's a vibe similar with this character as well. And it's relaxed, it's very self-assured, very self-confident, slightly limiting in a self-deprecating kind of sense, but like accepting the world for what it is and surviving in that as well. And so, like, do you find yourself drawn? Is that a natural extension of you? Like, is this?
I think it's a natural extension. I think it's just a natural extension of me. Everybody has something that they carry. You know, you are. Sure. You know, excuse me. Everyone's been delivered a personality. You know, culturally, then we're sort of affected by our culture. The English, you know. The English have a way they behave. The Scandinavians do. We're all human, and we all meet on that area of our humanity. But we're all carrying a way of how we behave. Australians are very outgoing. Well, it's because of the bloody sun, and you're outdoors, and that makes you vibrant like that. But we're all also New Zealanders, Australians, and Canadians have the sense of irony that the English have delivered to us. The Yanks don't have that. The Yanks are very literal in their humour, but we have irony. And I think all those sort of, you know, like, I love irony, and the good thing, you know, like, we're very laid back Australians, you know, but you can come out with a barb that'll flatten someone.
Oh, totally. And they're the best. Those moments are the best. It's like the one great line. Totally.
Yeah, that's right. And so I think, you know, a character like Jack, you know, yes, there's elements of how an Australian actually is, probably, and maybe I bring that to characters because that's what I am. You know, I always, if I look at movies, I go, well, that bloke has to be American in an American movie. You know, Brad Pitt is American, whether you like, he's American. You know, he ain't English, he ain't Australian, and he presents America.
Yeah, he's got that. So I was watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Then so it's interesting. It's like there's a specific California feel, and in saying just what you're saying there, it's like it's maybe it's reaching too much, but I mean it's almost it's like your characters, they resonate Australia, not in an Australian accent or caricatured ways, but they resonate the vibe that you get,
spirit or an essence.
They resonate why I love Caloundra, the warmth and the freedom of that. But yes, that's fantastic. And so you still loving it? You still having fun doing this? You still enjoying it and looking forward to it? Or
I can't. Well, I'm about to go off and shoot something in another month or something, but I can't. I can't sort of see why I need. People will end it. I won't end it.
Yeah.
People will go, oh, it's too old, that old bastard. You know what's the use of getting him? But you know, while people are
21,
you know, and also, like, you know, I do produce as well. I like finding things and setting things up, and so I don't see any reason why that I should stop. You know, because I thoroughly enjoy it. As soon as what I love to hear is the word action. I love hearing action because it's then playtime.
Yeah, and that's playtime. And that's what it still is, which is awesome. That's so good. I talk about like passion, like my passion for writing and things like that, and it's what really drives you and how it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be what gives you excitement.
You get taken to some place you only ever really remembered properly as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, where you're allowed to be creative. You're allowed to play.
Yeah. And do you feel so? I mean, I guess just looking around at the world, I feel like there's a lot lately. I don't know about you, but slightly off topic. But Like, do you feel people have forgot that in general? Like people have forgot what it's like to just play. Like that this is this interview like this, and it's not a formal like, now what did you think of that? Like it's just people stop having fun in that sense.
Look, it's a good. There's a lot more pressures going on. You know, I hear things like, I don't know. There's a lot more pressure. That people talk about the cost of housing and all that, and you know, people wanting to get a house. It's got to be dreadful to feel those pressures. When I was a young bloke, I never wanted anything except one day I wanted to be an actor. When I came across that, that's all. Now, where that journey was going to take me was going to take me. I never wanted a house or a thing, but I didn't even imagine, but like, you just start off in the world and you go, and things start to add around you. Now, maybe adding the things around you was a lot easier 50 years ago than it is today. And I'm sure with, you know, the environment is talked about a lot. It was never talked about, you know, when I was growing up. So there's a lot more things that people are being told it's bad. And if you get told it enough, it becomes heavy on you. And so it's hard to go. So it may therefore be hard to think of play. But, you know, I still look out there in the streets and stuff, and I see some mad little buggers.
Totally. Oh, of course. You know. Exactly. I mean, I'm looking at one right now. It's fantastic. It's great. It's nice to see the same thing. But I mean, so it's like, so, and just tying it back to Darby Joan, is that I see that in the sense of like, there are more conditions on happiness now. Like we feel as though there have to be more conditions or more things on happiness, and there's more structure. But there isn't.
There's a little bit of guilt on being happy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think it's the things, because there's so much for the requirements of that. But for me, and I think it's what you just hit it right in the head there, is like, for me it's as simple as finding your passion and not worrying about what the future will be, because you know the potential of it following that journey will be brilliant in whatever it is. You don't know exactly what it looks like, but you know it'll be great. And I think that's
the future's going to happen whether you like it or not.
Totally. So just make sure you go to the right way to watch it. Exactly. Yeah, totally. And I think that's the vibe that I get from this, you know, from this show that you're doing, from the feeling of those characters and what they go through. It's
good.
It's that there's that feeling that's really beautiful to see in an episodic, nice, gorgeous looking Australian thing that could have just been a murder mystery, you know, kind of episodic thing like that and everything like that. But it's really nice. It's nice to see it encourages play in people as well, which is good. Fantastic. Well, I mean, so
let's decide that play is good. Oxford.
Totally. Yeah. Play is good, and not worrying about the future is right on. Australians, awesome. English, irony. Yeah. Canadians aren't so bad. Yeah, you're 21, I'm 22, got the greys coming through. Darby Joan on Acorn so what have we got? It's premiering Monday, August 8th on Acorn TV. And it's a road trip drama. It's thrilling with Bryan Brown and the wonderful Greta Scacchi. Am I saying that right? Greta Scacchi? Yeah, fantastic. And so wonderful. So I know you've got a busy day. I won't take up too much of your time, kind of longer than this, but I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you.
My pleasure too.
This is a bit of that dream come true from earlier. It's really an honor to have a chat with you, and I'm really glad it went. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, nice to see you, and I really look forward to seeing what you do next, whether it's in front of the camera or behind it, because I think the vision and the view you have for life is what we need in a creative aspect, and I'm real glad that you're you, Bryan. So
good on you, Oxford. Lovely to talk, mate.